Good morning, guys. Monday morning. Hope you are doing well. July 28th. I can't believe it's right here at the end of July already. Everybody's talking about getting ready for school. And man, it seems like the summer just has flown by. But of course, we just ended our short little summer reprieve, little getaway to Lake Texoma, and had a good time. Glad to be back, ready to get going with this week. And really for us in the campaign, it marks a new season. So we have our sights set on September 6th for this upcoming Oklahoma Rising event. Pumped about that. And it's really not just about this one event. We talk about it a lot and want to highlight it and emphasize it, but it doesn't all ride on this one event. Of course, we're going to replicate this across the state, and already going across the state, speaking to so many great GOP groups, Lions Club, Rotary Club, church groups, just all different kinds of people across the state. We love it. I love it. And we will be hosting these events. Our next one coming up September 6th out in Chickasha, and we're looking forward to that. But like I was saying, having ended our last summer hoorah, our little getaway, time at the lake, family reunion. Now we're going, full bore campaign focused. And for me anyway, I guess that's how I feel, is like I needed to get through some of these necessary, and I hate to say it this way, but family obligations, right? I mean, and I enjoy it, but I'm ready to get down to business, ready to really put all effort towards this next event coming up on September 6th. So just want to, of course, remind you how you can be a part. Go to jakemerrickforgovernor.com. Check out, my position on things, but also you can join the movement and you can sign up for whatever you're interested in. There's so many volunteer opportunities. There's an opportunity to give. And we could use those small individualized donations because, like I'm reminding people, I'm not taking any big donations, any PAC funding, any corporate, backing for this campaign. We're going true blue grassroots, and depending on the people of Oklahoma to get us to that seat so that we can see true representation in the state. That is the vision. That's the fight. And love for you to be a part of it because it's our fight. So Jake Merrick for governor. It's in the link to the show here. Going to talk about porn a lot today. Of course, with the issue with Ryan Walters, that's what everybody's talking about. Not necessarily porn directly, but of course, possible inappropriate behavior and what is appropriate, what should be allowed in the state in general, and then, of course, publicly and professionally, what do we expect from our leaders? So I'm going to break this down in today's episode of the Jake for the State podcast. So that'll be released later this morning. Don't want to miss that. I'm going to dig into the various issues related to this story here in the state of Oklahoma, including a law recently passed last year in 2024, that required an age restriction on certain sites with inappropriate material, harmful to minors. There's certain stipulations in this bill, but definitely in favor of this. I'm in favor of the age restriction on material, certain explicit material. And then we have the discussion for the next level, one that has been proposed by Senator Dusty Devers, that is an outright ban on pornography in the states. And I'm going to discuss that. Love to get your take on that. What do you feel about pornography in general? How you define it? Should it be allowed? We know that Ryan Walters has been very outspoken and aggressive in removing sexually explicit material from our school libraries and public libraries, well, specifically school libraries. And I think it's been a concern across the board for so many parents, those of us who are Christian and hold this high moral standard, Doesn't mean we're perfect, but it does mean that we believe this is God's standard and we apply that standard to our life, into our families, into our communities. And, it's always difficult. I have to say this, it's always difficult when you hold these high standards truly from the heart and then you fall. Okay, whatever it is, if you're susceptible to addiction and then you relapse, if you struggle with pornography and you relapse, if you struggle with overeating and you relapse, all of these things, it doesn't mean that you are a hypocrite outright. I believe it means you're human, and that's where, praise God for his grace, that holds us, that restores us, that gets us back on track. And unfortunately, humanity, mankind, the general public is not so gracious, and they're going to be quick to lynch you for every misgiving, every misstep. And that's why I believe that Jesus said, "You will know my disciples by this, that they love one another." And one of my favorites is in Romans 12 when it says, "Outdo one another in showing honor." And, of course, in Galatians, bear each other's burdens and so fulfill the law of Christ. So there is this obvious hard stance on what is right and wrong, on objective truth, on the moral law of God, yet tempered with grace. We have grace and truth. And so, I have to say that to encourage the Christians out there listening, that while we do hold the truth and emphasize that, are uncompromising in the law and the standards of God, yet we also show grace, knowing that we ourselves need grace. I try to be very quick to show grace because I know how much grace I need. And, I reached out to Ryan Walters last night and just let him know I'm praying for him and his family during this time, because no matter what, the truth is in this issue, okay, what really happened? Was he viewing something? Was he not? In the end, I'm praying for him and his family, and I would seek restoration. I would seek healing, protection, because it is not easy being in the public eye. And when you take a hard stance on right and wrong, which I believe that his position has been right in, getting, of course, sexually explicit material out of school libraries, completely unnecessary, completely driven by the LGBTQ agenda that desires to redefine sexuality. And it's a perverse agenda, and I believe he's right to fight it. And that's the reason he got elected, because so many people like myself agreed with that position. Now, if it turns out that he's wrong in this situation, does it negate all of that? No, absolutely not. That has been the right position all along. And it also doesn't mean that he's a horrible person. But we do, of course, judge public officials more harshly and hold a rightly held high standard and expectation for public officials. Now, it's especially sensitive when you're in a position that deals with children and when you're in the professional workplace. Okay, it's another conversation too when you're talking about private life versus public professional life. So all of these elements come into play when we're talking about this particular issue, which, like I said, I'm going to dive into it with the Jake for the State podcast today. So be looking for that. If you go to Spotify or to Apple and you like the show, you follow the show, the Jake for the State podcast, and whenever this is released later today, you'll get the notification, and then you can hear my thoughts on it and respond to that. So just another medium, another platform where I will be laying out my positions and my beliefs and opinions, and love to get your feedback because there's always a constant balance. Mark, good morning, sir. Good to see you. Unfortunately, Mark, I did not get your email. If you did send it, I know you said you sent an email to me, and I looked for it and did not see it. And so forgive me, but try again, please, because I'd love to connect with you, and I'll reach out to you actually after this. But I did not get that last email. So Jake at Jake Merrick for Governor. The 4 is FOR. Jake at JakeMerrickForGovernor.com. And yeah, please, if you are listening and you have something you want to discuss, let me know. I don't see on this platform I'm going live on, I don't always see all of the live comments. And I usually go back after the stream and try to catch up on what everyone's saying. But good morning, Julie. Good to see you. I don't always see all of the live comments. So if you're wondering why I don't respond to you, well, I may just not be seeing it. And also I want to stay focused on what I'm talking about each morning too. All right, Mark, I'm gonna find you and find that message and we'll connect. So I apologize, sir. So I want to bring you also, let me just clarify that I've had so many people say, hey, I've been trying to, why won't you accept my friend request? Well, it's one of the things about Facebook is they max you out at 5,000 friends. So I switched over to a professional dashboard. So it's a digital creator dashboard on Jake, on my personal Facebook page. And I can't accept any more friend requests. So nothing against you, but you can follow me on there and please reach out. You can still email me directly. And Mark's like, yeah, well, I tried. Sorry, Mark. I'm looking right now because I want to see if I overlooked you. I'm sure I did. I just did not see it. I'm still not seeing it. I'm not sure what's going on. So maybe an issue related to my my email somehow. I'm going to search your name here. Sorry, guys. Just give me a second. All right. Well, I'm going to have to double check this email then because I am not seeing that email. So try this one, jakeforthestate@gmail.com. FOR, jakeforthestate@gmail.com. So try me on that one. And maybe there's an issue with this other email. I'm not sure. Yeah, thank you, Leslie, for posting that. Also, I want to give you this word, man. It really just spoke to me this morning. It popped up on my Bible app. You know, I have the Bible app like most of America, I think. And, you know, it's the Bible app right there. You see it? Bam. And so I get my word of the day. I don't know if you can see that. I got my word of the day that pops up just on my screen. And it says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. And I'm just holding fast to that word this morning. It's a simple word. Psalm 55:22. This is in the NIV. It says, cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never let the righteous be shaken. And I believe it. And I am holding fast to that word. He will never let the righteous be shaken. So if you feel shaken, if you say, well, I feel shaken, it may be DHS is messing with your family. It may mean your business is struggling to pay the tax burden. You know, whatever it is, it may be, you know, conflict in your marriage, conflict with your children. There are so many areas where there's a struggle, a very real struggle and a burden. Let me tell you, he will never let the righteous be shaken. Cast your cares on the Lord and he will sustain you. And it takes faith to do that, to say, God, I give this to you and I trust you with it. You stop dealing with it. You stop trying to figure it out. You stop doing that. Give that to him and trust that he is working all things out for your good. You have to just trust him with it. Stop worrying about it. It takes just as much energy to have faith as it does to worry. Okay? Don't invest your mental and emotional energy in worrying over a situation. Instead, invest in faith. Invest in believing and trusting God, because he will sustain you and he will not let you be shaken. Tell you, this campaign is difficult on so many levels. Just a few days ago, actually, it may have been yesterday, my 10-year-old said, and of course, coming from a 10-year-old perspective, but she was seeing some of the stresses of the campaign. And she said, it just feels like a nightmare. I tell you, that broke my heart. And I had to sit down with her and I had to encourage her faith. Listen, baby, if this is what God has called us to do, and he has given us the grace to do it, and we will not be shaken. And I just spoke to her, encouraged her faith. I don't want her to get in this rut of negative thought, of negative speech. At the same time, acknowledging her very real emotions and her feelings about this. Listen, it's a whole family thing. Whatever endeavor you may be in, if it's starting a new business, or if it's running for office, it involves the whole family and it impacts everyone. And so this impacts my whole family. Running for office, I don't take it lightly. And I promise you, I've had many times where I said, you know what? It's not worth it. This early in the campaign, and I know it's only going to get more intense, but this early in the campaign, I've had many times where I said, it's not worth it. It's not worth putting my family through this. I can handle it. I can handle it. I had someone else the other day say, I just don't want you to look like a fool. And I said, I don't care. I don't care about appearance, about what people think. I believe that what I'm doing is right. And my pursuit is righteousness. And my pursuit is righteous. And so if people want to call me a fool, let them say what they will. I do not care. Okay? When I know that I'm right before God, you have extreme confidence. Many people, many men and women in the Bible looked like fools when they served God. David looked very foolish when he said that he was going to fight Goliath until the giant fell. So people will have opinions, and I'll fight for your right to believe what you want, but I'm not going to let that invade my faith or my thinking or my sleep at night. I sleep very good at night. I lay my head down and I am out. I do not take my worries to bed. I do not take my worries to bed. I give them to the Lord. I said, you got this. I believe you with all my heart. I trust you with it. And I go to sleep. So I encourage you to do the same. Whatever you may be going through, just know, cast your burdens on the Lord. He will sustain you. He will not let you be shaken. Trust him. There are good things happening in the state of Oklahoma. We're going to get through, these allegations with Ryan Walters. Of course, he has been a lightning rod. He's been a firebrand in many situations. And I do pray for him and his family during this time of intense scrutiny. And I just pray for them. And if there is any guilt, for quick recovery, quick redemption there. No one should stay in the cesspool of shame. No, I refuse shame. And so I'm saying this because this relates to how we deal with those in public office. We hold them accountable, but also I believe as Christians, the way we handle that really reflects the heart and the love of God, that we should show extreme, grace tempered with accountability, and accountability tempered with grace. Goes both ways. So, praise the Lord. I'm going to be talking about that more on the Jake for the State podcast. So tune in later. Also, just a reminder, September 6th coming up. If you want to volunteer, be a part of that or any of the other events coming up, just go to jakemerrickforgovernor.com. You can sign up as a volunteer. You can donate to the cause. If you can't be a part physically, you can donate to it. I'm not taking any PAC money, any special interest money. In the end, I want you, the people, to know that I'm only accountable to God and the people of Oklahoma. That, oftentimes, big donors jump in and they help a candidate win. Well, you think they're doing it out of the goodness of their heart? Not hardly. It's because they want them to get in office so they can accomplish something on their behalf. And when they donate that big check to help them get in, then they expect a return on their investment. And that is the source of corruption in politics. So I'm dealing with that at the campaign level. I'm not taking that big check. I would more happily take a $5 check, even better, from 5,000 people. So we can get done what needs to get done in this campaign. We're going to go all across the state hosting these events. It's going to cost money. It's going to cost gas. I mean, we're paying for sound equipment. We're paying for, setup. They're just cost. I mean, printing flyers, tables, banners. There's just so many areas, T-shirts, buttons, caps, which it's been amazing to see all of you who have already been making your own T-shirts and banners and caps and signs and yard signs. Incredible. You can do that, right? You don't need my permission. You can grab the logo. You can go print your own. You can print out 20 of them and you could sell them or hand them out to your neighbors. And I'm sure they would be happy to help you recoup that cost. But we're already seeing so many groups do that. And that's been incredible. So thank you to all you guys that are already investing your own resources for this cause, because like I've been saying, it's not just getting me in this seat. It's about we, the people, taking back our state truly. So, man, it is exciting for me. Every time I think about it, I get recharged and I am pumped about being in this campaign with you. So I appreciate your efforts. Check out the links below and stay tuned, because later today, I'm going to be talking more about porn in Oklahoma, about Ryan Walters, about this issue recently at the executive meeting where there was a claim that they saw a nude woman or women, I don't know, on the TV in his office. Lots of speculation around that. Were those accusations true? If they were true, what was that? Was it a hack? Was it a pop-up ad? Or was it something he was viewing that was left on there? All of these questions are still up in the air. Of course, Speaker of the House, Kyle Hilbert, has called for an investigation. Governor Stitt has said if these allegations are true, he's very disappointed. Of course, the Democrats are jumping on this, salivating at this opportunity to belittle and hopefully in their view, oust Ryan Walters, put him to public shame. This is something they are salivating over, have been hoping and dreaming for, which of course now, because of the previous conflict with those board members, there is that big question, is this all a setup? Lots to talk about. I'm going to dig into it later on the podcast. I'm not going to dig into it right now, but that's just one of the issues that really isn't even a big issue here in Oklahoma. When you're talking about how children are being trafficked through DHS, we're talking about land rights being compromised. When you're talking about the oil and gas industry, where are they? Is it struggling? Is it going to be sacrificed on the altar of the climate agenda, the climate change agenda? How about our education? I guess you can connect that to Ryan Walters. Now the latest rating is 50th in the nation. So we have a lot of other issues that I would argue are much more important than whether or not there was an image of a naked woman on a screen in an office. However, I do believe it does have some significance, especially a high office in the state. So I will be talking about it later today, and I'll be discussing some of these other issues in the state. If you missed the Drill Baby Drill, man, it was another powerful discussion, and you can just go to Facebook, search Drill Baby Drill. I'll post it here in the comments as well, because it was a powerful discussion on DHS, on child welfare in the state of Oklahoma. I'm going to be having more of these discussions this week, and it's an area that is a high priority for me because, well, here's the thing. I've been thinking a long time about how do we reform DHS. Here's where I'm at is we need new leadership that is committed to reform. And we have to remove the financial incentive to take children into state custody. And that right there, I believe, is the key. You remove the financial incentive to take children into state custody. Just remove that. Let's do it because it's right and it needs to be done. But when you look at how much money is funneled through DHS, we're talking billions. Okay. Well, sorry, I was looking at a comment there. It's a high priority for me. And I believe removing that financial incentive is at the heart of the solution. So again, check out that Drill Baby Drill, the part 2 of this conversation regarding DHS corruption and calling them out. It's very powerful. I'm going to be having some more. We're going to record again this week and be releasing another episode. Joyce, I see your question. Who did that ed rating? I don't know, honestly. I've seen the comments circulating. Is it true? Let's find out. Okay. We know, I mean, whether it's 48th or 50th, doesn't matter too much. I mean, we kind of need, this is one area where, hey, Governor Stitt, I'm on board with you. Top 10, we should at least be in the top 10 when it comes to education, when it comes to reading and math and science scores. That's where I would love to be top 10. So whether it's 48th, 49th, or 50th, doesn't really matter to me. It's way too low. Okay. If we're on the other side of 50%, on the negative side, it's too low. So let's get up there let's just lead the nation. How amazing would it be if we could move from dead last to first place in the nation, setting the standard for how to educate children in Oklahoma and in the nation? That would be amazing. And I believe it's possible. So let's get about that. And hey, if you have any suggestions or thoughts in that particular area of education, that's going to be part of this follow-up conversation with the discussion about Ryan Walters is, of course, education and how to improve it. We'll dive into all that. I see that I'm right about 30 minutes and don't want to belabor it this morning. All these updates, just want to make you aware of. Please go to the website. If you're on board already with this campaign, there's a link to endorse me. You can go to the endorsement and put your endorsement on there. I appreciate that. You can also donate. And great question there, Mark. What is the metric for education? Standardized test scores, which I'm not a believer in. I believe standardized testing has been to the detriment of our education here in Oklahoma. Whenever we are teaching to the test, we're not teaching critical thinking, okay? We're not helping children grow and learn. We're simply helping them pass an arbitrary test issued by the state. And that I'm not a fan of that. And if that is the metric for education, Mark, I believe it's the wrong metric. And we need to rethink everything that we're doing in education. And I think that maybe a good place to start is standardized testing. Has that been positive or has that been to our detriment here in the state? I totally agree, Mark. A lot of room for corruption with standardized testing. Totally agree. All right. Let's dig into that more. I'm also going to be doing some Facebook lives and some X Space lives here pretty soon. I don't have a solid time for that. I think by the time I come to you tomorrow, I'll have a locked in time for when I'm going to go live, where I'll do more digging into some of these issues. Chris and Stephanie Davis definitely matters if they are trying to portray that we're going backwards rather than forward. Need to know if we truly dropped to 50, but yes, 48, 49, 50 is all bad. And it is a good point. I mean, is there an agenda behind this to portray us as failing when maybe we're maintaining at 48th? Still not good. But maybe it does open up that other question of, is there an agenda behind this? Is it somehow connected to the witch hunt of Ryan Walters? You know, I think that's a legitimate question there as well. All right. Thanks for posting that link, Leslie. I also have additional links in the comments in the description for this broadcast. I'm going to wrap it up, but guys, God bless you. Remember Psalm 55:22, cast your burden on the Lord and he will sustain you. He will never permit the righteous to be shaken or moved. I love it. All right, I'm going to wrap it up. I'm going to get on this recording for the Jake for the State podcast. You guys stay tuned for that, and I'll see you back here tomorrow morning.